Good morning, everybody. So I went, as I started the countdown, I ran into the other room and, good morning, Quentin. I usually am typing during that little countdown time. And so my apologies. I kind of like put you all into one little good morning. So hi, everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. I think I got everybody. Richard, I think I may have missed you, but good morning, Richard. And for all of you that are watching that don't actually comment, it's so funny how I get notes or text messages or emails from people who watch, but they just either don't know how or they don't really comment in. So
when they're watching on TV, they can't.
Oh, when they're watching on TV. Okay. So anyway, so sorry, get myself situated here. So that I just wanted to say good morning to all of those people that can't. So hello and good morning. So I have to tell you, it's been an eventful morning here. So apologies for the appearance. It was, first of all, candidly, I could not get out of bed, which doesn't happen to me often. Usually the alarm goes off and I reluctantly get up and get going. This morning was just really, really, really hard. And I even put the pillow over, just trying to drown everything out. And it worked because I dozed back off. So that was a little bit of a rush. Of course, Eric was already up, working furiously on getting all of the little segments and pieces together for you for coffee time this morning. And then, okay, true story. So our dog Penny, I don't know, she's got some emotional issues, I guess. She struggles with going potty in the backyard, so she needs us to take her out in the front and maybe, walk up and down the street. So I took her out this morning because she really needed to go. And she tinkled, and then there was a gentleman walking two dogs. And instead of going in the other direction, she wanted to go toward them. So I'm out there in my bedroom slippers, and I'm holding onto the leash, and she's pulling me, and the grass is wet from the irrigation and the sprinkler that was on. And I literally wiped out. I slipped. I fell backwards on my back. And honestly, it's killing me right now. And I have a bad lower back to begin with. Just all those years dancing and doing all the things in your life that you think are supposed to be healthy and you realize as you get older. Anyway, so I wipe out. But here's my problem. The neighbor kept walking. Did he not see that I wiped out? Which could have been a good thing because it was kind of embarrassing. But at the same time, if I saw anybody fall, I really don't know what you could do because part of the reason I fell was because the dog was barking at the other dog. So maybe the best thing for him to do was to keep going. So there's no right or wrong, but it was just kind of so I laid there and I got myself up, and I also had my phone in my back pocket. So I landed half on the sidewalk, half in the grass with my phone. And my lower back is screaming at me right now, but that's okay because you know why, my friends? I have got two different kinds of coffee in front of me today, and I can't wait to talk to you about those. So again, all of you that have just joined in over the last couple of minutes, Rachel, Pam, anybody else that may have just popped in, again, I love you all. If I've missed you, it is not intentional. Anyways, we have a lot to talk about today. It is Monday. What is the date of today? It is June 5th already. Holy moly. So yep, it's kind of zooming past, isn't it? I always think about, so I have this thing where I try to, if I'm going to try to start to do something healthier, I always want to start at the beginning of the month. But I know they say don't do that. Just start the day that you decide you want to do it. But my brain doesn't work that way. But then all of a sudden June 1st passed. And I'm like, there's another month. I guess I won't be doing it now. Anyway, I have to wait for July. But July will be here soon enough. So anyway, all right. So good morning. Just as a reminder before we get started. If you have questions, please put a Q with a colon preferably. That helps me search it. And then we want to try to answer as many questions as possible. So I do have Allie and Eric kind of paying attention to questions that are going by, just in case me yakking the whole time in front of you in case I miss one. But we are going to get going, although hang on one second. Eric, would you mind taking care of this? My apologies, but this comes first. We have a showing request for Sunbridge this morning at 11:30. Yeah, okay. Could you, Adam, thank you. Okay, sorry about that, but that's legit. So, and we're going to talk about that house here in a few minutes as well. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get ourselves started with our What's Brewing topics because there's so much to share with you. In fact, I have to tell you, I sent Eric a whole bunch of things that we could, would, should want to talk about today, but there was so much of it, we're going to have to put some for next week's coffee time. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started. I have to tell you, my desk is a mess, so everything is wobbly. Here we go. What's Brewing? Okay, so we have a big announcement. We have a new listing we're going to talk about, and we're also going to talk about some pricing pitfalls. Some of these things, the pricing pitfalls, we kind of sprinkle in things here and there just as it comes up in conversation. But we have some information that I think is going to be really, really, really helpful to you. But first, I want to get to the big announcement because I am so excited. Eric is beyond excited. I know our whole family is excited about this one. So let me see if I can find it. This is our big announcement. We are going to do our Coffee Time live stream on location at Filigree Coffee. And let me move this out of the way so I can see the whole thing. There we go. So Filigree Coffee, and this is at Home State Brewing Company here in the Hamlin area. There's the address, 16016 New Independence Parkway. We have a huge, we have a postcard that's going out. So if you do happen to live here, and by the way, I know so many of you don't live here, and I still love you, and I know you would love to join us, but you can still join us. You'll just be joining us like you're joining me now. But if you do live in Disney's backyard, if you are in this area, please join us on Monday, July 3rd at 9 a.m. at Filigree Coffee. We have a huge postcard going out to everyone that lives in Disney's backyard. And if you bring that card in, you're going to get coffee on us. We are really excited about that. In fact, so much so that look at this, my friends. Look at this. That's what Eric does whenever I do it. You do it, Eric.
And Elizabeth just got into the chat. She's like, because she's getting coffee. That's why.
Yes, I was just getting ready to give Elizabeth credit for this. So our daughter Elizabeth, who is home from college, she actually did this for us this morning. She did the whole coffee run. And I will tell you, so here's the thing. So I haven't had a sip of it yet. I've been saving that for you. But this is truly from Filigree. So she ran there this morning, got it, and brought it back. So what did I get again? Elizabeth, tell me what I got. I got a latte with something or other.
And also go here.
Oh, that is frothy. Oh, yeah. You can go there.
Go here, and then come up here a little bit. Since we're talking about daughters. Allie's talking about which neighbor. our kids look out for us.
I know. I will tell you, one of the things that I love the most about our family, and I'm sure this is the way in everybody's family, but we are sweet people. We are kind and we are loving and we embrace anyone, anywhere, for anything. But you mess with us and the mama bear comes out in every single one of us.
Especially Allie and Elizabeth.
Allie and Elizabeth. If you so much as look at somebody wrong, I love it. So Allie, it's okay, honey. He had 2 dogs with him, and so it was probably best that he keep on walking. And I was okay. I wasn't writhing in pain. But thank you. I'll point him out next time. But again, I don't know what he could have done, right? All he could have done is yelled, "Are you okay?" and then just kept walking. But at any rate, it's all good. I'm gonna have to have some ibuprofen and pull my heating pad back out. But anyway, I love you, sweetheart. I'm okay. Mommy's all right. All right, so that's so cute. Okay, so Filigree Coffee. So we are going to be there again July 3rd. I do hope you guys can join us. This is the thing. So the Filigree Coffee, it's like real coffee, right? So it's kind of like me and wine, right? I'm not really a wine drinker, but I'll drink a Moscato. But people that drink wine are like, well, that's not really wine. That's like juice. Yeah, but that's kind of what I like. So when we talk about some of these coffees, they're like real coffee. So I have to do the kind that make it creamy and sweet. And this one is perfection. So Elizabeth, tell me what I got again, baby. I think she told me. Filigree is such a cute local coffee shop. And then she said, Amy's order is a caramel latte with cinnamon, I think is what we added to it. Anyway, so here's my Filigree coffee this morning. Filigree, I can't wait to meet you guys in person and be there on location with you on July 3rd. So if you're around, come join us. All right, so let's go back to our second What's Brewing topic, which is a new listing. So this one's been coming for a while. We just couldn't really say anything. We just knew it was going to be happening. And then you know what? Sometimes things happen really quickly, right? So it's conversations. And these were my clients multiple times over. They're just amazing. I helped them when they purchased this home, when they moved here originally. I helped them purchase the home that we're now selling, but they've also already contracted on another home not contingent. And now we are selling their existing home. And I have to tell you just some of the amazing things that are done in that home. You have the picture of it, right, Eric? So it's this one.
It's the opening is going to run though. So
do you want to do the opening or no?
So yeah, do the big reveal. And so now let's take a look at my new listing. Try it that way. Do it like that. Do it like.
And so now let's take a look at my new listing. That's scary. Okay, so this is it. This is a beautiful floor plan. This is called the Chesapeake floor plan. Doesn't matter to you, but again, my brain works. Part of why I think that I can help people connect to floor plans is that I actually know what they're called. But the Chesapeake is a beautiful floor plan. This community has long since closed out. It's in a community called Bradford Creek, which is a gated community in Winter Garden, super close to Winter Garden Village, so very, very close to shopping. This particular home is, it's so good. It's 4,225 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, plus an office. There is a bedroom on the first floor and a full bath. So the primary bedroom is upstairs, but there is a bedroom on the first floor with a full bath. It has a pool. They've added the pool afterwards. But I have to tell you, if you have not already watched this video, I believe this video is the one that we posted on Thursday, the home tour video. It is absolutely gorgeous. First of all, they're so talented with being able to take a blank wall and then visualize amazing trim work. And I don't just mean the abstract trim work, although there's some of that, but I mean true luxurious attention to detail, like crown molding and door frames and window frames. And it's not just a step above, it's a whole giant leap above what you typically see in homes. So we do call this the custom castle, $1,055,000. Again, it does have a pool. It's a larger home site. No rear neighbors. You've got some nice, some nice landscaping in the back by the pool. And I will tell you, so it went active on Friday, Eric. We had a showing on Friday. We had a showing on Saturday, well, more than one, but we had showing on Friday, showing on Saturday. And then yesterday we had an open house, hugely busy open house. And I'd like to give a shout out to Anthony, a lender here locally that popped by. Actually worked with him with some clients of ours that closed recently. It was an absolutely smooth, seamless, amazing process. And he popped by yesterday and brought me a drink and a cookie. And I have to tell you, that cookie, I've never had one that was so delicious. But that was very, very kind and generous. But anyway, he popped by yesterday. And then we have some more showings scheduled today. We do feel like we might have a pending offer coming in as soon as somebody's wife sees it today. So we'll keep you updated on this one. But this one is amazing. And again, if you haven't watched it, go back to our Thursday home video tour and take a look at it, because it really is beautiful. If nothing else, it can inspire you to clean your house and do some woodworking trim projects. But get someone that's as spectacular as this person, because they really know what they're doing. Okay, so that was the new listing. Did you want to say something, dear? Okay. Checking. Nope, that's all right. All good. Does it sound better?
A little bit.
A little bit. Eric says the sound is a little bit weird today, so my apologies. Maybe it's me.
Nope.
No? Okay. All right. He says it's not me, so it's this microphone. Anyway, okay. So let's move on then to our next What's Brewing, which is pricing pitfalls. Now, how did you want me to introduce this one? Because didn't you want me to go to Forrest first?
Well, so yeah, go to the third button right there. Yep.
Yeah.
That. So we have a new segment.
A new segment.
Yes, so push that button.
Okay, I'm pushing this.
It's going to come up on the screen.
Okay, I'm pushing this one.
Crunching the numbers.
Crunching the numbers with Forrest. Yes.
Forrest is, and then push that over.
Right. So Forrest is our son. He is the one that lives out in Virginia. He is a number cruncher. He is very good with statistics and data, and he dives extra deep for us. So he is very, very, very instrumental in being able to assist with the home pulses and home valuations from basically like a third party eye, right? So that he's not privy to some of the information that Eric and I are privy to, knowing the area, knowing the builders, knowing this, that, and the other. So having his perspective and the true numbers validate and support what it is that we do is just an extra deeper dive into making sure that what we do is true, honest, and accurate, and that we're within the spectrum of good home valuations.
And this question today that he has for you comes from, he called me, go, this?
Yeah, he noticed that. So let's go to this one, and it's this one, Forrest video. So here we go.
Over the last 30 days, the average sold price per square foot in Hickory Nut Village, which includes Waterley, is $253 per square foot. But last week, a home went on the market at $383 per square foot with a rear neighbor, no pool, nothing spectacular in terms of upgrades. So based on the square footage and location, we would expect this home to sell in the mid-800s. Why would a seller or an agent price a home at $500,000 above its market value?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Do you really want to know?
Really do want to know.
That's funny. I always say that when I have my first phone call with clients, or sometimes when I meet them and we're like, "Hi, how are you?" And then sometimes I'm like, "Do you really want to know? Like, do you really want to know how I'm doing today?" Because I can have that conversation. So Forrest, first of all, that's phenomenal. And yeah, so Forrest came across that one, and he's like, "That is like, what am I missing? What is going on? What is wrong?" So the reality is, first of all, not my listing. Otherwise, it would never be priced at that, which is probably why in some cases it's not my listing, because I would not take on a listing where you want to be $500,000 above the value of the home. And that is, in that case, I know exactly what home you are referencing, because we also paid attention to that. I will say, just as a disclaimer, not a disclaimer, but just kind of as a follow up, it does actually have a pool. So we've realized it does have a pool. However, that is not going to justify the price differentiation between the actual market value and what they have it listed as. So that's just cuckoo crazy. And that's really the only term I can come up with. There are types of realtors, and I see this all the time. And this is not like tooting our own horn or anything. This is just a fact. And this is a fact anywhere, no matter where you live. There are realtors who don't really work in your area, and that's okay, except that they have to do a little bit more work and research to accurately price your home and to understand the area in general. There are a lot of people who just want the listing, and so they will let the seller tell them what they want to list it for. I've also been there, right? But I've learned my lesson. And I will tell you, just kind of in a very similar story, not $500,000 difference, but I did have clients years and years and years ago, had a beautiful home, and I told them what we thought the value was worth. They didn't agree. They wanted it to be listed higher. And I said, sure, we can list it higher. We get an offer on it. It doesn't appraise. And then it is a big mess because now they're super unhappy. So all of that kind of leads us into this next little graphic and thing that we have. So let's go to that, and it will kind of tie into Forrest's question with this house that ultimately, I don't know why they priced it that way. It is likely the realtor doesn't know what they're doing, or the realtor is doing what the seller wants to do, and the seller doesn't know what they're doing. Either way, it is an absolute disaster because of what we're going to show you next. So was it this one?
Yeah.
Pricing pitfalls. Okay, here we go. Okay. By the way, don't you love all of these little things that Eric puts together for us? I love it personally because it gives me time to take more sips of my coffee. True story. All right. So this is really important. And again, this is part of what I was referencing earlier, that we sprinkle this in based on conversations that we might be having. Guys, this is true information for anyone, anywhere. It doesn't matter if you live right here in Disney's backyard. It doesn't matter if you live in Montana. It doesn't matter if you live in Wales. All of this is going to ultimately be the same, right? And so here's the problem with the pricing pitfalls. And when I say pricing pitfalls, we're talking about the extreme overpricing of a home. Not if you price it accurately or within range, this is not the same conversation. We're kind of referencing back to Forrest's question a minute ago about that specific home and others that are like it, because trust me, there are many, many, many that are like that. So let's go through the first one. If you have it priced ridiculously above the value, just people aren't going to come to see it, right? Whereas if you priced it accurately, you might be within someone's price range where they actually could come and see it. So by pricing it higher, you're eliminating an entire group of people that budget-wise could really truly afford your home. And candidly, someone who does have the budget for the home that you've now overpriced it at, that's horrible grammar, but Allie, don't yell at me. If that's the case, sorry, you threw me again. No, it's okay. So if you've priced it, too far over, those people in that $1 million+ range are going to have a different expectation. So it's also not going to go well. So you just have to know what you're doing. And so the pricing pitfall is that you're kind of not really going to, have that happen. So the second one is that another agent may not even make an offer on it because they don't want to insult you or your agent. This happens all the time. So let's say there's a home that should be priced at $500,000 and you have it priced at $520,000, $525,000. Okay, first of all, that's a conversation right there. That's not a problem, right? That gives us room to talk. It gives us room to negotiate. We're within the realm of, okay, can we make this work? Let's just see if we can make it work, right? Maybe we can't, but we're close enough to having that conversation. But when you price it up in the rafters, not only are people not going to see it, but let's say someone does want to see it, they're probably going to do the numbers on it, and they're going to have to, the realtor's going to have to tell their client, look, I value this home at this, and we're so far apart, I don't even think we're in the conversation range. And so they're not going to submit an offer because they don't want to have someone have a home that's, listed at $525,000, but the value is actually $3,000. That's just cuckoo crazy. So that's one of the problems that you could encounter. The third is that at a certain point, these homes are going to take much, much, much longer. So, the listing, it may expire. And so there are a couple of determining factors. So you have like TOM, which is temporarily off the market. You have expired, you have canceled, and you have withdrawn. Excuse me. So any number of things can happen to this, but anytime you put that status on a listing, it's going to raise a question, and it could be a no big deal question, right? I had one of those that was temporarily off the market because they decided to rent it, but we were also still going to sell it. So there was nothing fishy going on, but it still is going to make people wonder because I had to answer that question to many people who called me and said, hey, what about that one? So that's another potential, pitfall, is that it's just going to take a lot longer. There's another one. When a home has been on the market longer than expected, people assume that something is wrong with it. So I'm not talking about temporarily off the market, expired or withdrawn or canceled. Now we're talking about it's just sitting there. It's sitting there and it's sitting there and it's sitting there. And maybe even the price is going down and going down and going down. First of all, that happens. In real estate, that definitely happens. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean there's something wrong with the home. That sometimes has to happen legitimately. But when you have overpriced it intentionally and you just have to let it sit there, it's kind of like putting a loaf of bread out. It's going to get stale, and eventually you're going to go, you know what? I don't even think I want it. You're just going to throw it away. And that's kind of what happens too. Maybe people are going to start to think that there's something wrong with it. Maybe it went under contract, or maybe people would go in to see it and then they can see that there's, too much work that needs to be done, or maybe there's like a lot of water damage. There could be any number of things that they start to speculate without even going into the home. They're going to start to make their own assumptions as to what could potentially be wrong with it to validate the reason that they're not going to go see it, that they're not interested. That's not where we want to be when we're trying to sell our home. All right. And then the fifth one, and by the way, there's a couple more I want to throw in here, but even if you sell your home for a fair value, you may end up being disappointed because you didn't get the original price. And that was because you did an unrealistic price to begin with. And so that just leads to a lot of frustration for everybody, right? And I remember the time that I listed my home, a client's home, for more than what they expected. And I remember this one vividly because it was earlier on when I was in real estate and I was a little bit more influenced, I guess I should say, because I wanted to make sure that these clients were happy, right? And I had, there's always a little bit of self-doubt, and I'm like, well, if they want to list, but they had just moved into the home. Like they hadn't even finished moving into the home. It was like 5 months or something like that. And there was a tremendous amount of equity that they were thinking they had in the home based on the increased base price of the builder in the community. So anyway, I remember that. And I remember saying, it's not, I just don't feel like it's going to sell at that price. But then we do get a buyer at that price. And then it appraises, oh my gosh, for like $40,000 less, which by the way, goes back to where I said in the beginning. And I felt much more validated that I was right. But of the couple, one of them was very upset with me because we had to negotiate back down to a price that the buyers agreed to. And then the other member of the couple said, well, Amy did tell us. And I was like, oh, good. Thank you. Because I told them, I said, I don't know if it will appraise and you have to be prepared for that. So again, that kind of going back to all of that, it just led to disappointment, right? And so the experience wasn't what they wanted, wasn't what I wanted, but it could have been avoided had we priced it right to begin with. There's a couple of other ones that I want to throw in just because with the graphic, we didn't want to make it look too busy, but there's a couple of other ones. So hold on. The other one is that it won't appraise. And this is what's huge. I just mentioned that, right? That it wasn't on our list, but it won't appraise. So if you list it, 100,000, 200,000, in this case, 500,000 from Forrest's example, above the property value, that's not going to appraise. So even if you get someone who has no concept of what they're doing and they pay you what it is you want for your house without a realtor, without any knowledge of the area, without any research on their own, if you are lucky enough to find that person, if they're financing it, it's not going to appraise. And people are like, yeah, well, I'm just waiting for a cash buyer. Cash buyers are not stupid. That's how they have the cash, people, right? So if you are a cash buyer, you usually are going to be coming in lower because you know that you are a more desirable buyer. So just food for thought, it won't appraise. So that's something else you need to pay attention to. And then the other one, and this one is probably my biggest frustration because we do so much here in our area, is that when you see that your neighbor or somebody in your neighborhood has priced their home at a ridiculous amount, you have now set off a neighborhood frenzy because your neighbors don't understand what you're doing. They just think that all of a sudden you've enlisted the help of a true professional that has validated and valued your home properly. And now they think their home is like that. And then you get real realtors coming in telling you what the actual true numbers are, and then no one believes you because you've set this ridiculous amount, and it creates creates a neighbor and a neighborhood frenzy. And so I think that's important for you for everyone to kind of understand. Wherever you live, enlist the help of a realtor and let them show you the data. Let them show you what's on the market now, what's on the market, what's it being listed for, what is actually, which of those homes are pending and what homes have actually sold. And then what did they sell for? What did they ask for them? What did they sell for? Those numbers matter because that is actual data showing you what people are doing. People with money who not only buy homes, but have the ability to close on the home, what they are actually doing, how the market is working. It's a two-way street here, guys. The realtors are going to help guide you because this is what we do. But you also have to do your due diligence and make sure that you're getting someone who understands the market, and you're going to have to trust them. And if you have questions, that's when you ask them, well, can you show me? By the way, if I'm a realtor and I've shown a home that I think is overpriced, but not cuckoo crazy, because if it's cuckoo crazy, you're probably not even going to show it. But if it's just a little bit above and we're having the conversation, we're in the conversation realm of overpriced. Then my next question to that seller's agent, to that listing agent is, can you show me the comps that you use to support that list price? Right? Show me the comps that you used to determine that your client's home is worth what you are asking for it. Many times they can't do it, or they find one home that is like not even, they're going like 5 miles away, and we're like, ugh. Anyway, so that is that, my friends. That's part of the what's brewing. I think I get really passionate about that. Can you tell? But I think it's important because it's happening more and more and more. And I'm sure it's happening everywhere as well. All right, Eric, did you want to say something?
No, just you have lots of questions.
I do have lots of questions. Okay, let's talk about some questions then. So hold on. Let me go up here to my little bar. Good morning. Yay, Quentin just closed 2 weeks ago. Congratulations, Quentin. Yay. Quentin wasn't my client. Darn it. But I appreciate you kind of joining in with us. Sydney, are you feeling okay? You sound a little nasal. You know what? Honestly, I tell you, I have kind of felt a little stuffy lately. So maybe that is it. Maybe Eric says I sound funny. Maybe that's why. But yeah, I do feel a little, I think honestly, it's the allergies. We were out a lot yesterday at the open house, and just honestly, I think I just need a day off is really what I need. But thank you for paying attention and caring there, Sydney. You're always so sweet. Let's see. Yes, Ben, we do have an Ovation update. So I'm gonna hold on that one for a minute. No, I'm going to do this one because I have to finish these questions. Kim, you said you want to know where the cookie was from. I will tell you, my friend. Kim, the cookie was from a place called First Watch. So was the drink. And I don't know what the drink was, but it was green and it was cold and it was very earthy and it was very delicious. It was like a kale drink. I'll have to ask Anthony what it was. Anyway, but the cookie was from First Watch and it was like a salted caramel something or other. And it was the perfect fit. It was like so good. It was a nice little pick me up. And what was funny is when he walked in, I didn't, so many of my people that I work with, we just talk on the phone and we're texting all the time. We don't really see each other face to face sometimes. So when he walked in, it didn't occur to me who he was. And he just walked in with this green drink. And I teased him. I was like, oh, did you bring me something? Did you know I was going to need to pick me up? And he's like, yeah, actually it is for you. And then I felt horrible because I was just teasing. But anyway, so it was a very, very, very good cookie. Next time you hear Kim, maybe we'll go get one together. What do you think? I think that's a good idea. All right. And then let me hit this other one.
Search your, never mind.
What?
I saw you put Q, but it's like, so why is Quentin there? Because his name starts with Q.
Oh, yes. Is the property insurance crisis really as bad as the media is portraying? Are there really large numbers of homeowners being forced to move because I can't see all of it? Policies are being doubled or tripled. We actually touched on this last week, didn't we, Eric? Wasn't this a question we had last week?
Mostly on the coast.
Yeah, it is. It's mostly on the coast. We're really not seeing that type of what's the word? Like anxiety and craziness kind of happening here. Remember, we are in Central Florida. So anything that's on the coast, anything Miami, you got, like on the coast, if you've got the Gulf Coast, all of those may be a little bit more of an issue with the insurance. But where we are pretty good. All right, I want to get to Ben's question because I do have an update for you, Ben. Are you ready? Hold on. I got to page this down. Hold on. Bear with me.
And then give me a good solid intro. And here's your Ovation update. Give me the good radio voice.
I don't have a good radio voice. You do it.
And now here's your Ovation update.
Okay. Okay, so harvest at Ovation update. So this is, I don't know if this is exciting for you, but so I told you before that, and a lot of times when there are new communities that are opening, we know the builder is going to be so-and-so or so-and-so, but we don't necessarily know who the builder's sales agent or site agent, as I refer to them, is going to be that opens up the community. And sometimes that is very hush-hush. They don't even know. So there's a lot of times that the people that work for the builder don't know where they're going to be sent to next, right? They kind of ping pong around too. A lot of times they stay nestled with a community and see it through, but then sometimes there's a new one that's opening, and so they're going to send somebody to the new one. Well, for the longest time, we didn't know who was going to be opening there, but we do know. In fact, Caroline called me the other day. We had a nice chat. So when we get to that point, my friends, where you may want to contract, maybe this specifically with Taylor Morrison, by the way, Taylor Morrison, Harvest at Ovation. Caroline is going to be opening up the community. She will have a partner there as well. Lovely, lovely, lovely people. I am so stinking excited about it. I can't stand it. However, so some of the information that I think is going to be very helpful to you that may or may not be noted on a website or any of the signage. So the first thing that, by the way, is frustrating for them, and I'm sure it's frustrating for any other builder, is the fact that they don't have models yet and they can't build them yet, right? So they're kind of stuck. Kind of like West Haven at Ovation with Toll Brothers, where they have the models built, they just can't do anything yet. But like the thing that Caroline was saying, which is very well taken, which is, yeah, but when they get the all clear from the county that we're good to open, Toll Brothers can open because they've got the models. And we're not really sure how they were able to get, their models built, whereas some of the other ones are not. But that's behind the scenes stuff. But here's the fun stuff with the Harvest at Ovation with Taylor Morrison. So the first release is going to be, I believe, 30 bungalows. So the first ones that are going to be released are the rear entry garage style homes. I believe she said there will be 30 of those. By the way, keep in mind, I don't work for or represent the builder. If I am misspeaking, it is not intentional. I'm trying to go by what I was told as I recall it. So please don't get mad if I'm slightly wrong. But I believe it's going to be 30 rear entry garage style homes, which will be bungalows. Then they won't be releasing the home sites for the front load garage homes until later. When is later? They don't know. And again, you have to remember that sometimes, again, the people that open the community, that work in the community, that sell the community, don't always know until they go to a sales meeting, and then they find out, okay, well, now we're going to be releasing these next home sites, or we're going to be doing this, or we're going to be doing that, or we're going to be doing the other. The one thing I did want to point out is that, so not only is it going to be bungalows, but it will be, to my understanding, design packages, meaning, you know, you go in and you can pick package A, B, C, or D, or 1, 2, 3, or 4, or whatever color code they call it, which is not really the custom type of a process that people are used to or want, but it is very much the trend of what the builders are doing. And I hope it is that. I hope it is just a trend, and that eventually they will go back to letting people build a home and pick and choose like they used to, because that's why people do it. You know, they want to be able to not customize their home like a custom builder, right? We understand that. We understand it's a production builder, and we're going to be limited with those choices. But you still want to have the flexibility of picking the cabinet that you want, or the countertop that you want, or backsplash, or tile work, or flooring. You know, I mean, you want something in there to be something that you chose. However, we're seeing this less and less and less and less. And you can ask any of my clients that I talk to on the phone. I say this all the time, and they see it firsthand. There's very few opportunities where you can build from dirt. Very few. If you are like, nope, absolutely, my disqualifier is that I'm going to build from dirt and I'm going to pick and choose every single thing. We just took about 95% of the, not even that, 98% of the opportunity away, because that's not the way that builder works. So now we have to be limited to just what builder is building where, that allows you to build from dirt. And I promise you guys, there's just not that many here. Remember, disclaimer, everything that we talk about is here in Disney's backyard, right? It's not necessarily true everywhere. It's just that it's becoming more and more difficult for you to truly go, I want to build in this community. I want that home site. I want to build this floor plan. I want that elevation. I want these structurals, and I want to go to the design center. That process is so rare right now. So expectations. So understand that going into it. By the way, giving credit to the builders that do the design packages, those design packages are all gorgeous, by the way. So there's probably a package that would be exactly what you would have chosen anyway. It's just taken that out of your control and into the builders, but it helps with the pricing, because then they can combine it all together. They know what materials they are ordering. They order them in bulk. It helps with the fluidity of the timeline. So there's a lot of benefits to doing that as well. The major benefit, my friends, and this is really true, is that you know then what your price point is going to be essentially when you contract on it. And for new construction, that is always the nerve-wracking moment of going, okay, I mean, I've got so many clients that have been reaching out, hey, we just went to so-and-so's design center and it cost us so much more than we expected. Right? So what do you do when you are totally stuck to a budget and you do get to go to the design center and you realize, oh, I had no idea it cost that much just for this one thing. So sometimes those design packages are going to be in the buyer's best interest. It's just about understanding and having that expectation of what it looks like nowadays in this area to build. So anyway, so the Harvest Ovation. So 30 bungalows, I believe will be the first release. Don't know exactly when, because they are still waiting on permitting and things like that from the county to allow them to move forward on some of these things and start working on some models. Here's the other thing. They're pre-selling right now out of Fire Creek, which is in Gotha, which is a little bit frustrating for them too, because a lot of times they're in a very nearby community where, you know, like when Dreamfinders was selling Lakeside at Hamlin, they were at Wincy Groves, which is really just across the street. You could point to it. But this one's a little bit further away. So the pre-sales are going to be happening out of another Taylor Morrison community that's in Gotha, which is not very far away. It's just not uber convenient, right? So just keep that in mind. If you are interested, remember it's important to call me at 407-848-8042. I don't know where that number is. And then I will get you in touch with the builder so that we can make sure that you are getting on a list, that you are prepped and ready, so that when they do release something, we don't waste any valuable time in securing a home or a home site. But I'm excited for it. I really am. I'm super, super, super excited to see what happens in that Ovation area. So I hope that gave you a good update there. It was Ben, right? Didn't Ben ask? Yeah. And then Deb, you asked, Any more updates on the Toll Brothers West Haven at Ovation Models opening? No, I mean, again, we're still just waiting. I think they said end of June, but we also heard at one point end of May.
And
so
I failed. I took a drone shot this week of the whole area to show everyone, and then I just didn't process it last night. So there's nothing happening.
No,
right the second there was no trucks, no anything, nothing.
It really is. It's kind of like it's just all flat, and you've got your models. And you've got the parking lot prepped and ready. And across the street, you've got like a bungalow model. So the models are there. They are homes that are prepped and ready, but then nothingness. There's no trucks out there. It's just like a ghost town as far as, a couple structures up. But, like Caroline said with Taylor Morrison, she said the good thing for them is that when they do get that all clear, that they can move forward. They have models ready to unlock the door, turn the lights on, and get going, and they can sell with models intact. Whereas, it'll be a while before that happens with the other builders that are across the street there. So, anyway, so that's a good update. Hopefully, everybody that helped a little bit.
People want to know about chicken.
People want to know about chicken. All right, fine. People want to know about chicken. All right. Okay. All right. So, if you watched yesterday's Sunday drive, by the way, I don't know if you guys know, we are exhausted. Like. Can I just tell you, I mean, we're tired. And it's because social media is not just what we do. That is secondary to working with the clients. And we throw in these little Sunday drives and all of this stuff wherever we can, whenever we can. Candidly, some of that time should be spent with us just sitting by the pool or napping. Or cleaning the house. But instead, we bring you really, really, really important information in our Sunday drives, like this Sunday's Chicken Wars. So yesterday, did you want me to do a little? Let me do the little clip.
This is the final scoreboard.
This is the final scoreboard. This is from yesterday's. Oh my gosh, yesterday's Chicken Sunday Wars. Drive.
In third place is Chick-fil-A.
No!
I would not have 27 points.
Really?
27 points. Well, I think part of it was their order pickup wasn't good today. I think on a normal basis they would probably score the highest. But in second place, PDQ. Just made better, just finishing in second place. And in the top spot with 30 points, which make our son-in-law Hunk very, very happy, the winner
of Chicken Wars, the destroyer of worlds.
Okay. Huey McGee's, 30 points.
Okay, so that was a little clip from yesterday's Sunday drive. So there was a little bit of real estate in there, but there was a lot of chicken in that one. So we had, all right, so first of all, we try to be goofy anyway. I don't know, try to be goofy. We are goofy. But, Eric and I have always, for years, we have always made a joke to each other. It's like if it was to go get a soda, if it was to go to Walgreens or something, we're like, do you want to go on a hot date? So our hot date is always a quick running of an errand. So we were going to do a funny drive-through, kind of like judging the different drive-throughs to get my Diet Coke.
That's coming.
And that one's coming. Okay, so I guess we are doing that one. But then we decided that we have, we did the Chick-fil-A, we did PDQ, and we did Huey Magoo's. Now, obviously, if you watch the whole thing, you know that there were some other places we didn't include. We didn't include Zaxby's. We didn't include KFC. So there's other places that have chicken that weren't in this. But this was really because we were doing the 3 that were right here in our area. Full disclosure, the Chick-fil-A in Hamlin has not opened yet, so we had to go to the one at Winter Garden Village, and then we started the one there. But point is, so that's what we did. So it was a little bit of real estate as we were driving around and a lot of chicken tasting. Eric thought that you might enjoy that. So
And he was right.
You be the judge. I don't know. I will say I was getting like Sue Carmody was texting me last night. She's like, everybody was laughing at the, what was it? The kaboink or whatever. The back. Yeah. So you have to watch it. And if you didn't watch it, by the way, that was me. My back is really, it's just throbbing right now, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm going to be fine.
I have one comment.
You have one comment.
Over the thing.
Okay.
So, by the way, Amy, like I do irritate Amy, but she is playing it for laughs a little bit. So a couple of people commented, they're like, Amy, your husband's funny. You should enjoy that. And I don't know if you do or not. I think you do, though. No, okay.
No,
see, it's that.
No,
I'm saying.
No.
She does like me.
I do. I love him dearly. No, the laughter in our marriage is like the best thing. It's no. I mean, please. We've been married 30 years. We have 4 kids. We're good. I know his sense of humor very well.
Or you've given up.
Or I've given up. I think that's it. I've lost hope. I'm in it now. So
Yeah.
no, of course I love him. Anyway. Okay, so let me go back to where we were. All right, so we did not officially have a wishes, but I did want to tell you we do have a wishes because Yuko and Manny contracted on a home. Woohoo! So Yuko and Manny are clients of mine, super sweet couple. I helped them when they purchased the home that they're in now years ago, and it was a very quick finding of a home, and they are there, but now they need to move into another home that has basically an in-law suite, but more than that, almost like an in-law apartment because their grandmother lives with them and she's older and a little bit elderly and needs a space to be with them, but she still needs her own space. So the multi-generational home concept is tremendous. It is very much needed. And so builders, if any builders are out there paying attention and you have any input on product lines, please start including some of these that have, the secondary, not just an ensuite, but like an actual nice little chunk of space for them. When that doesn't work, because there are so few of those options, many of my clients, we've basically said, I'm like, hey, look, we find a home that's got the 2 bedrooms connected by a Jack and Jill. Make that their whole wing. They've got their own bedroom. They've got their own bathroom, and then you can use the other bedroom as their living room. We can even make that closet add a little, maybe not a wet bar, but maybe a little kitchenette where you can put in a little fridge or a little mini fridge and a microwave or something or coffee pot, whatever. Anyway, so if you're listening, we need some more multi-gen homes. However, thank you, D.R. Horton, for the Camden floor plan. My clients just contracted on a Camden over at Lake Apopka Sound. Over the weekend. It is absolutely ideal because not only does it have, it's like 2,745 square feet or something like that. It's a very large 1-story floor plan, but it actually has exactly what I'm talking about it has a separate entrance as well. So it's connected to the house, to the main living space, but there's a second outside door that they can access so that they feel like they've got their own home. It has a nice big living room, living area with a little wet bar. It has a nice big bathroom, and then it has the bedroom. So it's truly a little mini apartment over there. So congratulations to Yuko and Manny. They did just contract on it. They haven't closed on it yet. It's not completed. In fact, it hasn't even started. But I did want to at least say congratulations to them because that was really big. And thank you, Stephen Klein, by the way, with D.R. Horton for assisting us through that. This is where it really, really, really pays off to have these great builder contacts. That you can text them at 8:30 in the morning and they're jumping right on it and they're getting in their car and they're getting us the information we need and getting over there to meet us. So thank you for everybody involved in that one. All right. So what else do you want me to do next?
You've got Allie, you've got Market Update, you've got
let's do Allie.
Zillow and what you're watching.
I'm going to do Allie.
What is the difference between a real estate agent and a real estate broker?
Okay, very good question. That actually is a very good question because a lot of people don't know and they don't understand. And my friend, I'm going to actually throw in the third, which is Realtor. So a real estate agent has to be licensed by the state. There's obviously training that needs to be done, classes that need to be done. There are tests that need to be taken and passed. Not just there's like pre-licensure, and then there's and once you take the pre-licensure courses and you pass those exams, only at that time are you eligible to take the state exam, which is difficult. People don't usually pass on the first time. I did. Eric did. But it is, but then you take the state exam and then you are a licensed real estate agent. However, a broker can also work independently, right? They can also work and buy and sell with their clients as much as they want to. They have some additional training and additional licensure, and then they actually can then hire, theoretically, the other realtors and create the brokerage. There's a lot more that the broker which is ultimately where I have to hang my license. So if Eric or I wanted to be a broker, we could do that if we went to the courses and we did some extra training and but we don't, that's not really, we want to help our people. We don't want to have a big brokerage, right? We don't want to have a bunch of agents. It's just a different concept. So a broker can still work at buying and selling real estate, but they also are going to be, really manning that brokerage and providing the guidance and the leadership and the training that's going to be required for the realtors that work underneath that brokerage's name. And when you think of a brokerage, you think of your normal ones, like your Coldwell Banker or your, Keller Williams, or in my case, it's Preferred Real Estate Brokers. But you think of those big names, that's kind of what the brokerage is, and that's where your license is hung. However, the one that we're missing from that little bit of a conversation is Realtor, Realtor. It's not Realtor. It's not Realtor, it's Realtor. And that is when you are a member of the NAR, the National Association of Realtors, which holds you to a very high standard with your code of ethics. So you can be a real estate agent, but if you are a realtor with the little copyright symbol, you are a member of the National Association of Realtors, and you do go by a code of ethics. So anyway, so that's the little bit of the difference. So again, we're all doing the same thing, helping people buy and sell and rent real estate, whether it's residential or commercial. But the broker or that brokerage is a little bit different. They're kind of like the step up above, and they're kind of the house, and we're all the family underneath of it. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Okay, so what was the other one? Do we have a Zillow? We do have a Zillow. Let's go to Zillow real fast, yeah? Yeah. Okay, so I'm grooving on this house in Winona, Minnesota. Is that it? 8 bedrooms, 6 baths, 8,053 square feet, 750,000. So that's a lot of square footage, and that's not a lot of money, relatively speaking, to the square footage. But look at how run down the house is. However, I don't know. There's something really, really charming about that. And I mean, it would need a heck of a lot of work. But here's the thing. I don't know. I'm kind of liking, look at that. Like that room with the bookshelf. Allie would love that. I love that little corner cabinet there. Not a big fan of the wallpaper, but look at the little heaters that are under the windows. Oh my gosh. Look at that. See guys, I love this. This is absolutely something I love. I mean, I know it would need to be, checked out. The pool's not so groovy, but there's potential. Again, maybe we can all pool our money. And what is that? Does that look like the roof has gone on that? Or is that a courtyard? I don't know. I can't tell. I'd have to see it in person. That's actually really, really, really lovely. So that actually is going to lead me to one other thing. And then I'm going to try not to, let me see if I can find it real quick. So we, and then I guess we should get ready to go here in a minute. But looking at that house, that kind of brings me to another topic that we were going to talk about on one of our coffee times, but I'll throw it out there real quick. I get these text messages, and they're automated text messages, by the way, and they drive me absolutely bonkers because it's not a real person. It's a bot, and I hate that. But they're like, "Hi, Amy, do you have any fixer-uppers for me?" And I'm like,
You literally just got one because I had your phone.
"Did you? Did I really?"
I was just going through my contacts. Are you still a licensed realtor?
Yes, I get that all the time. And it's like, please stop wasting my time. I know there are no fixer-uppers here. And by the way, it's not a real person. They're just waiting for me to respond because I did used to respond. And then I realized that's a never-ending, thing. So here's the thing. So there are, in my opinion, there's like 3 categories when people talk about that. And again, this is information for people everywhere, but we just don't have a ton of fixer-uppers here because most everything that we do in this area is new or new-ish. So the level of what someone is explaining as a fixer-upper is different. So a fixer-upper, all right, so I'd say there's 3 categories. There's the painter-upper, where it's like, okay, well, the home just needs fresh coat of paint, needs some fresh paint on the trim, paint the doors, like it needs a full top to bottom ceiling, like my son's home when he moved into his home in Virginia. We had the whole thing painted, top to bottom. And sometimes you might need, some baseboards. You might need to do a little bit of drywall repair, things like that. That's a painter upper, right? So that's okay. That could be one version of a fixer upper, but that's really just kind of cosmetic, very, very simple to do cosmetically, not a tremendous amount of money or getting into the walls, which leads me to the second one, which is the wall opener. So you have the fixer uppers, you have the painter upper, and you have the wall opener. The wall opener means, okay, now maybe this fixer upper is going to need to have some walls knocked down so that we can take care of some mold, some plumbing leaks. Maybe there's some electrical issues. So now we're getting a little bit more invasive into the home. We're getting into the wall space, right? So now we're a little bit more than just the painter upper and some cosmetics. Now we're getting a little bit deeper into some of the major components, the electrical and the plumbing that could be a problematic, or again, they could have a leak, or maybe it's outdated. Maybe it's the poly B piping and we don't do that anymore. So there's some things like that. And the third one is the full gut. That's when and it's probably like that house that we just saw, where it's going to be a lot because there's going to be some structural deficiencies in the home at this point. And so it's a full gut. It's like you're going to have to pull everything out, reinforce the foundation, reinforce the structure, probably the whole new roof and trusses. So we don't have a lot of those here. But when people talk about that, the next time you think about that, think about the different types of fixer-uppers and what that might mean. The painter-upper, the wall opener, or the full gut. That's the way I think of them. And the only one I would adjust or address would be a painter-upper. Yes, sir?
The full gut is Amy's pet name for me. Sorry. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I am. I'm going to scoot to that right now. I'm coming in here for these little jokes. I don't keep drinking this. I've got my filigree right here. It's just out of my mind. Hey, filigree. Hold on. There it is. Love it. Okay, so let's go to what I'm watching, and then we're going to go because it's like 10 o'clock. So let's do what I'm watching. Okay, so I actually have watched a few movies. I've been finishing up my other series, A Million Little Things. And every once in a while I'm like, well, I'm just kind of tired of it. Let me put a movie on. So there's a couple little movies that I watched. Inside Man, I think that's what it was. Not the one with Jodie Foster, but there was a different Inside Man or Inside something or other. Yes. Insider. I watched that one and I watched another one. But my daughter Elizabeth and I, it was so cute. She was upstairs with the dogs the other day. I'm not sure why. Maybe the cleaners were here or something. I'm not sure. But she had the dogs upstairs and she just put something on to start watching it. And so she was watching Married at First Sight. And then I came upstairs to sit for a little while just to kind of get out from underfoot. And so then I started watching it. And then we got to this really exciting point, right? To the big moment. So Elizabeth and I have now been watching Married at First Sight. So it's kind of cool. I mean, it's a reality show. And, to each their own, whether or not it's the way you want to go about choosing your second half for the rest of your life. But there are some absolutely stinking adorable couples that, as just a regular old observer, I'm like, you know what? They look like they're so perfectly matched together. Maybe it's the way you do things. So anyway, so that was a fun one for me. So we're still watching that one. We watched one last night, and then we're like, okay, we gotta call it quits for this evening, and we'll watch another one later today. So Elizabeth, if you're still watching, we'll pick a time to watch it, baby girl. All right. So I think that is it for my list.
I have breaking news. It was disappointing breaking news. Do you want it?
Yeah, sure.
So Carly and Marty didn't get the house in Chicago.
Oh, no.
So I don't know if you're watching with us today, but she just texted you. But so we'll have a listing coming up sometime, but they got to find their house in Chicago. But yeah.
So we have, this all just happened yesterday. So when we were, and I will, that's a little bit disappointing. So I'll call her back and give her some love and hugs. Okay. So yeah, just yesterday we were at an open house. It was a gated community, so I had at the front entrance, I had a little sign that says, call or text so I can give you the gate code for access. And we had 3 different couples all in there at the same time, and Eric and I were talking to them, and I was in the middle of a conversation with one of them, but my phone rang, and I said, excuse me, I think this is probably someone just needs the gate code, so let me answer the phone. So I answered it, and it was this adorable woman, and just so cute. They were actually getting ready to sell their home. They wanted us to, talk to us about listing the home. And so we had a lot of communication yesterday back and forth, and they're moving back to the Midwest. And they had submitted an offer on a home there, and they were hoping to find out today whether or not they got it. And Eric just said that looks like they didn't get it, but that's okay. They'll find another house there. But our job is to sell their home here, which will be another listing coming up soon. It's also a little bit of inside scoop. So for all of my clients looking to move here, we've got another one for you out in Claremont in a community called Waterbrook by Mattamy Homes. It's a good one. All right, guys. So I think that is it. I know we did. I think I have utilized all of the buttons here in front of me. I think I am good to go. So if you have questions, remember, save them at this point. Jot yourself a little note sheet, and please make sure you ask them, because that's part of what we do. All these little segments is just, other little informational segments, but our main goal is to kind of chat with you and answer any of the questions that you might have. So on that note, I am going to let you guys go and enjoy your Monday and hopefully enjoy your week. It is, I always laugh. I'm like, it's Monday already. Like, I don't know when the one week ended and when the next one begins, but that's okay. That's my problem. It's not yours. So as always, Eric's running back over here. What is it? Oh, he's bringing me a salon pass. I need it for my bag. I do. I really do. Like, it's like, I'm going to put it back in there. Well, man, that's not the way you do it. You peel the sticky, you stick it on there. But anyway. All right, guys. As always, please remember, in our heart of hearts, please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we absolutely, truly love you. Wherever you are, whoever you are, we love you. Thank you for being a part of our lives, even if it's just this little bit that we have on Monday mornings. I absolutely treasure it. You guys have a wonderful day, and happy house hunting.